How do you feel when you switch to Geico and save on your car insurance? It's like finishing your laundry and successfully matching all your daughter's baby socks together on the first try.
Let's see. Panda socks, fire truck socks, socks with those cute little strawberries on them.
You matched each and every one of those tiny socks. I mean, has this ever happened in the history of laundry?
And a penguin wearing a cowboy hat socks. Done.
Enjoy the moment, Dad. You've earned it. Yep, switching and saving with Geico feels just like that. Get more with Geico.
Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben, your go-to podcast for all things green and growing. I'm Ben, your allotment guide, and here to help you cultivate your garden and your passion for plants. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out, this podcast is for you. Each episode will dig into tips, tricks and techniques to make your garden and allotment thrive. From planting, sowing and growing, we will share all the tips and advice. We will also have regular episodes talking about what we have been up to on the allotment. So sit back, grab a brew and enjoy today's episode. Hey everyone and welcome back to Gardening with Ben for another brand new episode. Well, it's middle of the week already. We're nearly at the weekend. We're nearly at Christmas. Christmas is nearly here and I've still not bought a single Christmas present. But yeah, Christmas is soon upon us. But that doesn't stop me from doing these podcasts, and it certainly doesn't stop me from going to the allotment and doing my gardening and enjoying what I do best. And yeah, it helps me so much to get to the allotment and to the garden. It's one thing that I can always look forward to at the weekend, getting down to the allotment, seeing how things are getting on, and it helps motivate me as well doing this for you guys. And it pushes me and keeps me going. If I didn't do all this, I'd just sit back and lay on my bed all day and do absolutely nothing. So I do love doing these podcasts for you all, and I hope that you all enjoy them too. If you're new to these podcasts, make sure you do click that bell button, give us a follow on the platform you're listening to, or if you're listening on YouTube, follow us on Spotify and you'll get updated when new podcasts are available to listen to. So, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about utilising every area of your allotment for its potential. Same for your garden, really. It's the same sort of concept. Now, whether you've got a massive allotment, whether you've got a small allotment, it's about utilising the space correctly and appropriately. As I've learned from the past, and when I sow my seeds, I never tend to save any of the seeds. I just throw them all into a seed tray and chuck away the plants that I don't need, or I'll try and plant them all and use too many. And you don't actually need to plant as many plants as you end up planting, because you'll either not use them all, they'll all be ready at the same time, or they'll just go to waste. So only plant what you actually need to plant. And by doing that, you can grow other stuff and fit more stuff in. And it goes down to companion planting as well, as I've not really done much companion planting. I know about certain things of companion planting and how to plant things to use less space. Like I know when people say like plant sweet corn, plant your runner beans to grow around your sweet corn, and then grow marrows or courgettes along the floor to use that space up. So it's about utilising the space and using what's available. And I have to do this because I get a lot of shade on my allotment, so I don't have much areas that I can grow stuff with sunlight. So I have to think about what can grow in the shade okay without much sun, and then grow everything what needs sun in the beds that need it. And obviously, like at the moment, I've got my garlic growing, I've got my onions growing, and they're in the beds that are sunny. And the thing is, these will be harvested around June time, July time. So when I harvest them, then I can use them beds again and plant maybe beetroot in them, lettuce in them, marrows, courgettes, runner beans in them. I can use them spaces up once I harvest the produce, and it's about timing, about being able to use the space wisely. Like if I were to use those sunny beds to plant Brussels sprouts in, for instance, the Brussels sprouts, you'd be planting them out in March, April time, and they wouldn't be ready to harvest till November. So I'd be wasting that full bed, a sunny bed, on Brussels sprouts, which I don't particularly like. And I'll end up using a shaded spot to grow something that needs sunny, if you get me. So it's about using the space wisely. And obviously, certain things you can grow in tubs or in baskets, like you can grow tomatoes, trailing tomatoes, what you can grow in like pots on your fence or in a hanging basket, and they can trail down. So you could, if you're short of space, grow stuff in baskets or in tubs. Like lettuce can grow in tubs as well. And yeah, make the use of all your fencing. Like grow your runner beans up your fencing, or hang some pots on your fencing and grow lettuce in it, spring onions in it, carrots in it. It's about using the space as much as you can and making the most of how much space you've actually got. And mine's a big allotment, and I could grow lots and lots of different varieties of stuff if I had time or if I had the patience to do it. But I tend to like to leave quite a bit of space in between my plants so that I can keep it weed free. Like if I were retired or something like that, I could go down every day and weed in between all the plants on a regular basis. And because I can't go down every day and I'm only down there twice a week now, I have to leave a lot of space in between the plants so that I can just quickly whiz a hoe around and scrape off the top root heads of all the weeds and keep on it top of it that way. But I could plant the beds to be absolutely fully stuffed. Like you could have a row of beetroot, you could have a row of lettuce, you could have a row of carrots, you could have a row of spring onions, and you could squeeze them in as much as possible and grow an absolute ton of vegetables on your allotment if you wanted to. Again, utilizing that space. And I know there's a method called square foot gardening, I think it is. And that's a case of squeezing everything in different rows, but organized, and it'll just be the right amount of veg to grow for yourself. And you can fit plenty of vegetables in doing it in that method, as like obviously carrots don't take up much room, spring onions don't take up much room, beetroot doesn't take up much room. So you can plant them all in rows like that if you want. And again, I end up planting too much that I actually need to actually grow. Like I've got 200 strawberry plants. Now you'd probably say that's too much, but it's not too much. I absolutely love my strawberries. If I could have an allotment full of strawberries, I certainly would do. And the more that I do of strawberries, I would do. Like if I could, I'd have them in baskets on the fencing. I'd have them up the side of my shed, but then they dry out every single day, and I'd have to water them every single day. But yeah, there's so much stuff you can grow like on the side of your fences and stuff. But obviously, I can't get down every single day to keep these watered. And I think it goes back to my previous episode, is that using this time now to plan what you want to grow in your beds and the layout of the plot, it all goes hand in hand in getting the most out of your allotment and garden and trying to fit as much in as possible. And yeah, I could grow absolutely loads of stuff in my plot. And I might possibly try and do that this year. I might see if I can grow the most stuff that I've ever actually grown down at the allotment. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough because obviously I'm working 9 to 5 Monday to Friday now. But if I put in enough time and effort, I could actually do it, because having an allotment is like a full-time job. People think, oh, it's going to be easy. It's going to be so easy to just like go down and do a bit every so often. But no, it's definitely a full-time job. And I absolutely love it. I'd do it as a full-time job. I'd love to be down there at the allotment all the time, but unfortunately this podcast's not gone viral yet. Once it does, then I can do it full-time. Keep sharing the podcast out, everyone. But yeah, hopefully we can grow as much stuff as possible next year. So I might start looking in my seed catalogues, writing down all the seeds that I want to do, and plan my layout and see about utilising my allotment space a lot more and trying to grow more and more stuff this year, and hopefully get some fantastic results in some fantastic harvests and share with you all how well I've actually done and on the little time that I have to do it, and see what results we can actually get. So stay tuned. I will be sharing pictures and tips and advice on how to do it all. But I hope that you do enjoy these podcasts. Make sure you do give us a follow. Until next time, everyone, remember, keep smiling, keep shining, and keep gardening with Ben. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Gardening with Ben. I hope you have found some useful tips and inspiration for your own gardening and allotment journey. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please make sure to follow and subscribe to the podcast so you never miss a new episode. And if you have a moment, I'd love for you to leave a review and share the podcast with fellow gardening enthusiasts. Your support helps us grow this community and continue bringing you great content. You can also follow us on social media on every platform called Gardening with Ben for daily gardening tips and updates. Happy gardening, and until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep shining, and keep gardening with